Hello, we're in Lesson 3 of the 2013 Classroom in a Book, Lesson 13. We're on page 383. We're under Saving Content for a Web. So we've been practicing file export as save as JPEG this whole semester. But you can do specialty settings saving for web. So we're exporting at 300 dpi, which is print resolution. And you always want to work bigger because then you can scale down smaller. And when it's bigger, typically you would print everything out. But sometimes things only live on web. They only lived on a screen, maybe a tablet, a phone. Icons need to be 72 dpi. And this is what we're going to be looking at. So on the top of page 383, it talks about different layers and kind of different options for that. So before we save content for the web, it's important to understand the pixel grid in Illustrator. So we want the raster images to look sharp even though they'll be in pixels, which kind of looks a little off in 72 dpi. To enable web designers to create pixel-accurate designs, you can align artwork to a pixel grid. The pixel grid is a grid of 72 squares per inch, vertically and horizontally, and it's available when you go to View Pixel Grid. So we're going to go look at File New. We're not going to make a new document, but we're going to look at this real quick. So remember when we make our new documents, if you don't have this advanced toggle down, you should. The raster effects should be set at high 300, but sometimes they're set at 72 dpi for web. And the color mode, so the default is CMYK, which is for printing, but remember screens read light differently, so they would need to be in RGB space. So that's something right there. So to cancel, we are not creating a new document, but that's for you to look at. Now on page 384, and what we're going to do is do a couple different things, and they may be a little complicated, so please pay attention. So right now, we're going to change the document mode because right now it is actually RGB. And I know that because up here it says my document, what we're zoomed in as RGB, which is red, green, blue. If I need to change that, I can go to File, Document Color Mode, and I can switch between RGB and CMYK. I don't think this is a huge deal, and I could be corrected, but printers make the adjustments for me. When I'm in Illustrator, I usually do CMYK. If I'm in Photoshop, I do RGB. It's just how I work, and it's something to kind of keep that in mind. Keep it as RGB. So the next we're going to go to View Pixel Preview. You notice everything looked a little different. And if we do zoom in, you notice we have pixels now. Once again, on pixelate, it looks kind of like Photoshop. And we're just looking what our image would look like if it was exported as a JPEG at the moment at 72 dpi. So let's look at the camera in Gallery, and notice it looks a little fuzzy. So the next we're going to do is we're going to click on the camera right there. I'm going to click on the word transform, and right at the bottom it says align to pixel grid. So we're going to click that, and just keep an eye on the camera. It kind of aligns up so it looks smoother and less pixely. It looks pretty cool. So on page 385 on step 13, click the transform panel menu icon. And we'll notice that align new objects, the pixel grid is selected. If it isn't selected, you want to make sure it is selected. So this option sets all new work to be aligned to the pixel grid automatically. So I'm going to deselect and just do a Command S. So the next part is saving for slices, and slices I think they're really irrelevant in my practice. We'll go through them. You'll probably almost never use them. They used to use them in web design like 15 years ago because you'd have these high resolution images and it's quicker to load like 21 megabyte images than it is to load 1 megabyte image. One 20 megabyte image. So they used to do slices and use the pixel grid of where it was located and align it up. And it's kind of like when you would maybe seen the thing where people print off one part of a photograph and they make it big and they put all the photographs next to each other and it lines up in a grid to create a larger photograph together. So that's kind of what it's doing here. Also, you can take things out and do transparencies when you do a big logo like this. So, the layers panel, we're going to click to open up the header layer. Hide the nav. We're going to open up header. We're going to alt click or option click the new layer button. And it opens this. And we're just going to name it Slices. And click OK. And it actually put it right there, so I'm just going to click and drag this to the top in my header. Actually, it should be right above header. Slices, header, slideshow, nav, cool. So when we create slices, when they're listed in the layers panel, they can be selected, deleted, resized, etc. So we're going to zoom up, maybe zoom out a little, to the Bella Casa right here. So we're going to use the slice tool, which looks like an X-Acto knife. And the slice tool is in your tools panel right here. Keyboard shortcut Shift-K. And you're just going to draw a box around Bella Casa. Do the best you can and try to stop before the photograph underneath. So if it's not perfect, that's fine. You can do the adjustments later. So when we create a slice, as you can see right here, Illustrator divides the surrounding artwork into automatic slices to maintain the layout of the page. Auto slices account for areas of artwork that you did not define as a slice. Illustrator regenerates auto slices every time you add or edit your own slices. Notice the number 3 in the corner, the slice you created. Actually, ours is 2. Illustrator numbers slices from left to right, from top to bottom, to beginning in the upper left-hand corner of the artwork. So it's actually 3. That's fine. So we're going to go to View Nav. And go to orange buttons at the bottom. And with the selection tool, we are shift-clicking the gallery text shapes, the camera, and the orange circle. So we have our text, holding down shift, clicking this orange circle, and holding down shift to click the camera. So all of those will be selected. The next we're going to do is create a slice from this by going to Object, Slice, Create from Selection. There it is. Create from Selection. As you can see, we have some extra slices readjusting there. So we're just going to select deselect and do a Command S. The next step is selecting and editing slices. So we're going to go up to the Bella Casa right up here, and we're going to hold down from our slice tool and find the slice selection tool, which is right under the slice tool in the control panel. Once you've done that, we're going to position our pointer in the center to pick it up. As you notice, it's kind of got a highlight. And with our cursor, if we take it to the edge, you notice that the cursor changes to adjust the size. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag the bottom so that all the text is located in the slice. Don't worry about the photograph underneath. So next we're going to do is select, deselect, go to View, Lock Slices, so we don't accidentally move them. We're going to do Command S to save our progress. On page 388, we're going to do the Save for Web command. So we've been doing File Export As. So we're going to go to View, Hide Slices. So we're going to move those slices so we don't see them. And with our selection tool keyboard shortcut V, we're going to shift click the gray pattern, background, the photograph, and this black bar. We're going to go to Object, Hide, Selection. So this is what we're looking at for the top. So now we save the slice content using the Save for Web command. All content will be shown in a raster. So let's go, make sure everything is deselected. Go to View, Show Slices. You can see the locations of everything there. And now we're going to go to File, Save for Web. If you do not have this option, you may need to go to File, Export, Save for Web, Legacy. Some versions of Illustrator are a little more advanced than others because they keep doing tiny changes. So we're going to do Save for Web. Or if you go to Save for Web Legacy, the dialog box looks just like this as well. So in the Save for Web dialog box, we're going to click the 2 Up tab to give us a split window of what we're looking at. And using the Slice Selection tool, this guy right here, click on the Optimized, which is sort of the checkered area on the right. Click to select the slice that covers the Bella Castle logo at the top of the artboard if it isn't already selected. And you can tell when a slice is selected because the light brown border is around it. Right there. So over here you have presets. We have GIFs, JPEGs, and PNGs. Remember GIFs, they do transparency, but they have a lower color palette of 256 colors allowed, but they allow animation. JPEGs are high quality images. They do not allow transparency or animation. So we're going to go with the PNG, which is high quality, full color range, and offers transparency. We're going to go with the PNG 24 preset. And then down below, we're going to go down to Export. So we're going to go to Selected Slices because we're only selecting the one slice there. We're going to do File Preview. It's going to open up a web browser. And this is what it's going to look like. But we're really just looking at that part. So we're just going to minimize. We're going to do File, Save. And we're going to name this Logo. And you are going to turn in this logo as well. And click Save. And we keep Illustrator open. We're going to open up a Finder. It's going to be under Images. Mine's under Logo 2 because I did this demo in class. Press the space bar, preview it, and it looks great. So that is it for slices on page 389. Remember, you're turning in the logo PNG at the end. We'll have one more video, and I'll see you then.